just curious though, because you know, we're both from the South, but did you ever at any point think you might go by William Robert just to fancy it up? You know what I'm saying? Did you ever? You're like, I'm gonna be an actor and a thespian, so I shall be William Robert.
Not really.
No.
No, I mean, that's, my name is what's on the birth certificate, so I thought, you know, I'd stick with it. And plus, when I first went to LA, 1980-ish, there was this musician that I knew from Nashville. Remember the Wilburn brothers who were way back? You know, Teddy Wilburn told me. He said, because I just went by Billy growing up, and he said, use both names because nobody will forget it. Because how many Billy Bobs are going to be in LA, you know? Yeah. And so,
now in Texas, you're one of many.
Oh, yeah, I know. That's true.
I grew up with a few.
Oh, yeah.
There's a whole venue called Billy Bob's.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
Oh, every time we play there with the Boxmasters, I always thank the people there for naming the place after me.
Oh, my God, I know, right? That's a great venue. It's fun.
I love it.
Yeah, I really dig it. But it's still got a family kind of vibe to it as well. Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah. I guess it depends on the family you're from.
Yes, exactly.
Well, congrats on season 2, man. I literally, no joke.
Oh, thank you.
I'm coming into work today, and I was talking to my managers in the car, and my driver was even talking. Steve was like, oh my God, I love Landman. Right. Like, everybody loves Landman. This is blown up.
It has. It really has. And we didn't expect it to. We thought it would be successful, but probably only U.S. and more like Middle America, you know, and we figured it would do well there because Taylor's shows do. And when it went international, I mean, when you have, you know, people writing in from Uganda and, you know, South America and stuff, it's been crazy. So we didn't expect it. And we feel blessed every day to be doing this thing. And now I'm doing a movie in Montclair, New Jersey, through the tunnel over there, and you know, 16-degree weather. It's awesome.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
They told me this morning it felt like 10 outside, like my friends, and I bundled up so hardcore that I was sweating by the time I got outside.
Oh yeah.
But
right.
This is what's rude, is you're so cold outside, but you get inside any building and then you're just dripping in sweat. It is hard to be hot in the city, like sexy. I mean, sexy. It's hard to be sexy here. You're just dripping in sweat, and not in that cool music video way, you know? What's happening in season 2? What's going on?
Well, this season it concentrates more on the family. The first season you get to know everybody, you know, everybody's introduced, and you learn a lot about the world of the oil business in Texas. And then season 2, now that you kind of know who everybody is, now they delve into the relationships more, and we get into the executive branch of it, you know, because last year John Hamm ran the oil company, and he died.
Not anymore.
So now I've become president, and I think Taylor was smart about it because you don't want to start season 2 out with an oil explosion like you did season 1. You don't want it to be the same. And also, now that people know the characters, they want to know more about them. And,
yeah, you can dive in a little deeper.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I loved the season, and especially episode 10.
Yeah. Oh, what a tease. Yeah. Okay, 10. Okay, looking forward to that. We need a few commercials, and we have someone to help us out. Go ahead.
Hi, Kelly. I'm Charlotte. Billy Bob, I may be in the big city, but my heart belongs to Texas and Colorado. That's why I'm such a big fan of the entire Taylor Sheridan universe, especially Landman. I love how your character is no BS and tells it like it is, but in the most charming way. Stay here. Kelly has more with Billy Bob next.
We're back with Billy Bob Thornton, y'all. That was a look at season 2 of his series, Landman. It's out now on Paramount Plus. Last time Billy Bob was here, his co-star, Ali Larter, had this to say about his pants on set.
Here's what happened every day, Ali.
Oh my God.
Here's me. I'm walking to the set, and you did.
Okay, all right.
Which
Right before, it's like action, let's
you're
get
just
them up and off we go.
constant wedgies.
Is that still occurring?
Yeah,
Are you against belts or?
No, I have a belt on right now, and it's cinched up all the way.
And yet, I see your Calvin Kleins, my man.
Do you really? Can you really see them? Oh, no. I don't know what it is.
It's a very comfortable boxer brief. Well done.
It is.
Yes.
So I have never really had what you might call an ass.
Oh. I have had always what you call way too much. Even each other out.
And on the show, they put me in these baggy jeans because in real life, I wear women's jeans. These are women's black Levi's, size 6.
Nice,
And
okay.
so I go to these outlet stores and get them, you know,
Okay.
I like them. Anyway, but on the show, they put me in these baggy jeans and everything. They just won't stay up no matter what I do. And Ali follows me around, not just on the show. I mean, we'll go out to dinner.
Just in life.
It's not, our relationship's not a hell of a lot different off screen. Like, you know. And so one way or the other, we'll be at a restaurant and she'll come up behind me and pull up my pants. And
big sister moves.
yeah. But she always wants me to take her to someplace fancy. She'll say, do not take me to that beer joint again tonight.
Yeah.
She goes, we're going somewhere where I can have champagne and caviar.
And you're walking in with your ass hanging out. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Yes.
You're bringing class everywhere you go. That's what I say.
That's
yes.
right.
Yes. So is it true that you got, I didn't know this, you got your start as a ZZ Top tribute band? Y'all were
That was
playing and somebody
later.
kind of found y'all?
Yeah, that was later. My first band was when I was about 10. I was in different bands throughout high school, and that's all I ever thought I was going to do. I mean, I accidentally became an actor. It's a weird story.
Yeah.
But anyway, I went to California just to play music. But right before that, and I'd been working as a roadie. I was a roadie for several bands over the years. I worked for a sound company.
You told me that last time.
Yeah, I did shows with Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, Pure Prairie League, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, a lot of people. And so, you know, I moved to Houston and with the band I was in, and we were a 3-piece band, and I was the drummer in that band. And but we sounded a lot like ZZ Top. And when we played original music, but we sounded like them. And we actually did a couple of our songs. Well, there was a guy named Scott Weiss who was an agent down there, and he happened to be at this club called Cardi's. It's not there anymore. And he saw us play, and he comes backstage, and he said, how would you guys like to be a ZZ Top tribute band? This is before they even had these tribute bands. Now they're everywhere.
Yeah.
And we said, what does that mean? And he said, well, you dress like them and you play their music and all this kind of stuff. And we said, oh, all right, well, what do we get out of it? And he said, how much are you making tonight? And we said, $300. He said, how would you like to make $1,500? We said, we'd like that very much.
Yeah, you're like, I love ZZ Top.
Yes, and so for a couple of years, we went around all over the South and Texas and everywhere. Midwest, playing ZZ Top songs. So it was a lot of fun doing that. And soon after that, I came to California.
Yeah, and then just happened to become a really amazing actor. That's funny how that just happened.
I don't know.
That's amazing.
Well, you know, I think honestly, you know, I think it's kind of, people take acting so seriously, especially like when you're doing an interview with like a fancy critic guy or something, you know.
Yeah.
And they always want there to be a trick to it, and they want to hear how much you worked and how you took Shakespeare and you had this acting teacher and you were with Stella Adler and all these people.
Just
I used
name
to
dropping.
just make a resume up. I say, yeah, I was with Stella Adler. I wasn't. But it's really, honestly, it's not I don't do that. I don't think about it. So I think my success comes from ignorance. I really do. I mean, because I didn't know, they say you're so natural. I don't know any other way to be, because I didn't ever do Hamlet, you know? So I just go out there and kind of do what I'm supposed to do, you know? And I
mean, maybe you're bold and you're confident and you just are you. I think that that's not ignorance, maybe. It's just like being you, and that's served you well.
Yeah, I like doing that.
So your love of music, I heard it started with King Creole, right? Is that one of the things
my mom played Elvis records around the house, and when I heard King Creole, I was like, I think I'd like to do that.
Yeah, that seems fun.
Yeah.
Is it true your uncle got you, is it your first guitar?
Yeah, I was about 3 maybe, and it was one of those little
like the toy
one that has a picture of Roy Rogers on it or something.
Yeah.
And I would just bang on it and dance around in circles, you know. But,
But it is interesting, like, what sticks, because kids will trade, right? Like, my kids, they'll get really into something and then into something else and into something else.
Right.
But it's funny when you see something kind of stick throughout those years,
For
you know?
sure,
It ends up being like a real love and passion. How's it going with your band, Boxmasters?
Good. Yeah, we just got off a tour not too long ago, and
do you tape and film and then right after that just go and tour? Because your schedule's busy, man.
I had 2 weeks off between end of Landman last season and the tour, and we rehearsed in Florida this time, and because we started on the East Coast. We actually got to open for some heroes, but we've opened for a lot of people, but and they're all awesome, but we opened for The Who, and that's like one of the top 3 bands of all time. You know?
Yeah.
So, and I mean, it was such an honor, and when we played in Miami with them, we got a standing ovation in the Megadome, you know. It's a great feeling to be before your heroes and you get a standing ovation. So the guys in the band and the crew, they were saying, oh my God, because we went to Newark next. And we played Newark right after Miami. It was a couple of days off and we played there. And the guys were saying, man, this is awesome. We're going to get a standing ovation in Newark. I said, no, we're not. And so we get up there, and I thought, well, the guys they were so thrilled with that standing ovation in the Megadome there. Yeah. And so at the end of the show, I was just going to make damn sure they did, you know, so I gave them a little, you know, lift. They weren't that aware of it, but at the end of the show, I just looked at the crowd and I said, you know, thanks so much for coming. It's like, on this last song, everybody stand up. You got The Who coming out here.
Yeah, you know what you're doing.
And so, you know, and so we got the standing ovation in Newark. But they were great, so I think they were going to do it anyways, but I just want to make sure. I didn't want to disappoint the kids.
That's a very clever, smart way,
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just want to interject one thing real quick. And I'm not joking, your staff on this show is the best.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, they really are.
You know what, man? We started years ago in LA, and I had one caveat. Like when I started, I was like, we can't hire one.
Right, exactly.
I'm done with my life. Like I just need to, because life's too short, and
it is.
It's just let's have a good time.
And
you know.
Kara is awesome.
Amazing.
I mean, we go way back to People magazine.
I know. Cycle journalists as well. Yeah. We love, and it's funny, everybody that works here has worked in several different, you know, areas in the entertainment industry, and I think that's what makes such a great staff here. I agree with you, but thank you.
Awesome.
That's like the best compliment.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right, let's take a quick break. Next, Billy's sharing the best live music he's ever seen. Music has made Billy Bob who he is today, so we wanted to know the most meaningful live performances he's seen in his life. It's time to find out. This is Ranked.
Billy Bob's best concerts.
Oh my God. I love the jingle. We'll do a simple, short countdown from concert number 3 to concert number 1. Here we go. Coming in at number 3 of Billy's best concerts is Three Dog Night. All right. When did you... The hair in this picture? Let's give that a standing up. The hair? I mean, there are 3 different personalities going on here. That's amazing.
There certainly are.
Yes. What was memorable about seeing them?
You know, the reason I list that as one of them is because when I was, I used to, we went to church all the time, right? Yeah. We were a Methodist church. And so we had this little group called MYF, Methodist Youth Fellowship.
Yeah, right? I was in the Youth Fellowship.
Well, there you go. Yeah. Okay. And so they would take us on field trips. So we went to Little Rock, which was for us like going to Paris.
Your church took you to see Three Dog Night?
Yeah, they took us.
We saw Carmen. We saw, which was awesome, but like it was different.
Well, they took us to Barton Coliseum, of course, after going to Casa Bonita.
Okay.
But and then we went to Barton Coliseum and saw Three Dog Night, and it was the first big concert I'd ever been to. I was like 12 or 13, you know, and I was like, oh my God, this is just magnificent. You know, it just sort of made me. Even though I was already doing it to a degree, it's like, of course, we were playing at, you know, YMCA, but it was just the first one that I saw that really struck me.
Progressive, cool church once again. That is awesome. Okay, Baptist is different. That's all. Yeah. Well, coming in at number 2 of Billy's, and Baptists are awesome. Let's not piss them off. Coming in at number 2 of Billy's best concerts is Creedence Clearwater Revival. Great. That's incredible. What a great vibe that concert must have been. Yeah.
It was unreal. The opening act was Freddie King, the great blues guy from Texas.
Yeah.
The second act was Tony Joe White, who I ended up writing a song with on his last album before he passed away a few years ago. And then Creedence. And I got there early, and I used to, well, let's just put it this way. There was a time when I had chemical refreshments every now and then.
Yeah. I'm gonna say a lot of people going to Creedence had a lot of chemical experiences.
Well, I had to take some medicine that day, and it made me steal a judge's robe from the drama department. I wore that to the Creedence show. And so I'm in a judge's robe with hair to my waist. And anyways, I got up close. Lights go down, and I can barely see in the flashlight with the roadie leading John Fogerty on stage. I could see he had a cowboy hat and like a Western suit on. And which he didn't always do. He usually wore flannel shirts, you know, and he was like right in front of me. And when the lights came on and he hit the first chord of Green River, it was simultaneous. In other words, they had it timed to where it was like literally lights, da-da-da-da, you know. There was nobody saying, ladies and gentlemen, fantasy recording artist, Creedence Clearwater, because it's
and before programming, mind you. This is before programming. Now they do it and everything's timed with lights. This is before that.
There were no gizmos.
Yeah.
And so what impressed me about it was they had that kind of confidence that they didn't need an introduction. They were Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Yeah.
And so lights come on, they're playing Green River. And I thought, you know what? That's what we're gonna do one of these days.
Yeah.
And so we never get introduced. You know, you come out and you play because, you know, the name of the band's on your ticket and all.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, you know.
So you kind of know who you're there to see.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Coming in at number 1 among Billy's best concerts is Allman Brothers. God, you have great taste, man. I mean, it just looks like a good time. Tell us about that show.
I was an Allman Brothers freak.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I became a client of Phil Walden, who owned Capricorn Records, you know. It was their label. And he managed me in the late 80s and the early 90s. And so I got to know all these guys, Dickie and Greg and all of them. And it's just, even some of their roadies that I worshiped their roadies when I was a kid, you know.
Yeah.
And, but when I saw them, once again, at Barton Coliseum, I mean, I would just listen to Allman Brothers live to Fillmore East all the time, you know, just play it over and over and over. And Allman Brothers put you in a trance, and what was different about them, they call it Southern rock, but I think Southern rock is a term that didn't really serve the Allman Brothers. Like, Southern rock is Marshall Tucker, Leonard Skinner, people like that maybe. But the Allman Brothers had jazz and blues and rock and roll. Yeah, it was like some really complex music.
Well, that's what sucks about music, though. They always have to categorize, and it's like, sometimes that doesn't work.
Yeah, it does, and I think in their case it didn't, but maybe because they were the first ones, you know, really. But, and they put on a long show. I mean, it's nearly, you know, 2.5, 3 hours long, and you just literally go into this trance of, it's like, this is music right out of the ground, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love being at a show like that, man. Oh, everybody give it up for Billy Bob Thornton. Come on. You can see season 2 of Larter Landman now on Paramount.